other friends drove to an all-night clinic with the dog and went to get her patched up. And I proceeded to feel terrible about myself for the next 3.5 hours and just drank myself into a ridiculous stupor. So I had made the decision earlier that night that I was going to drink. I was not going to drink like this. So I just turned into a sailor.
Real thirsty.
And I think I drank a fifth of whiskey and probably 4, 5, 6 beers over the course of like 2 hours. And then, probably had another shot or two in that time. And by the time they had gotten back, I was just sitting at the island. Everyone else was still, having a good time, decent time. I had turned myself into a bomb that was ready to explode. I was just sitting at the island. I remember in my head thinking, okay, how am I going to get out the front door, which was a mere 2 feet away, and onto the grass to throw up without throwing up in the house? And I'm sitting there thinking about it in my drunken stupor, and all of a sudden one of the other drunk assholes at the party walks up to me and goes, "Hey Cam, how's it going? And starts punching me in the kidneys. Now, now he's like joking around with me, not like laying waste to my lower body, but jostling everything up in there, and it was not a time for everything to be shaken around. So
did he just get done beating the dog as well?
No, he didn't. No, the dog was back, or actually I think they had to stay overnight, but the people who had dropped the dog off were back at this point. But so he's punching me in the kidneys, and I just can't hold it in now. So I begin vomiting everywhere. Now this ugh. You have not seen vomit like this. It was listen, it was purple. It was full of the Japanese food that I had eaten previous that night. And I kid you not, it covered the entire island, which was probably probably a 4 to 4.5 foot by 2 foot, 2.5 foot island. Covered the whole top of that, streaming down the sides, and they had a like a chip bowl on there that was empty, and I picked that up and started throwing up into that, and I filled that thing. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you.
Expands, man.
There was likely 2 to 3 gallons of vomit.
Wow.
At this point. So my body is just completely empty now. There's nothing I could do. I've had this situation described to me by another friend
heading
at the
into
party.
the dry heave stage.
Yeah.
Not at this point. We'll get to the dry heaves. But the way it was described to me, what I looked like was he punched me in the kidneys. On the other side of the island was one of our friends. He looked at me, and I lifted my head up while he was getting punched in the kidneys. I looked at him straight in the eyes, didn't say a word, and just opened my mouth and unleashed hell all over the place. Stared at him for a good 2-3 seconds after being punched, and then it was just all over. So, finally, after I've ruined all the clothing I had on for the evening, and I made a valiant Patriots effort to clean up the vomit all over the place, I decided it was time for me to maybe call it a night. So I lay down on the couch. Most everyone else had gone to bed at this point as well. I feel like I'm going to start throwing up again. So I get up. I walk my way down the hall to the bathroom, which is locked at the time. Someone's in there. So I make my way to the other bathroom, the master bathroom, which is attached to my friend's bedroom and his fiance's bedroom. I strip off everything that I have left, get in the bathtub, lay there butt naked, and sleep there overnight. Now, I periodically remember throughout the evening getting the dry heaves and eventually working something up out of my stomach to just, throw up all over myself. Just onto myself at this point. Did
you at least sock your dong?
No. I wasn't in a state to... I wasn't worried about anything like that at this point. Whoever was going to see this was going to see a show. So, I'm laying in the bathtub thinking, how did it come to this? Just throwing up all over myself, and every once in a while just turning the shower on with my feet so that it would wash my body off. Then that's basically the whole story. I woke up the next day with the worst, most righteous hangover of all time. Look what I had done to myself, and felt just nothing but shame. took a legitimate shower and cleaned out the bathtub and then finished cleaning the island and doing anything I could to kind of save face. But yeah,
you gave that dog a swift kick and got the fuck out.
Yeah, it's like, screw you, dog. All stemming because I tried to save a dog and no one would come out and help me, and then I felt terrible. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean that's probably my funnest drunk story, even though it wasn't fun for me. Apparently, it was for everybody else.
Where did the purple come from?
I don't know. I to
yeah.
this day have tried to figure that out because I drank pop at the Chinese or at the Japanese place, but it was like it was like Dr. Pepper or something, or Coke. I'm sure that's what I always drink, and I ate rice and steak and shrimp, and I don't remember eating anything purple. And then I drank whiskey and beer at their house, so I don't know why it was purple.
We should do an experiment where we combine all those elements and see what color.
And make myself throw. I'd rather not do that again. Once was enough. Thanks.
Yeah.
So, Nelson,
Well,
you have anything, or you straight lacing us here?
Oh man, I'm the most boring.
I know.
So
I only have one.
So for me, it's partly it's twofold. The reason why I've never drank ever once in my life, never had a drop of liquor, and never smoked a single anything aside from secondhand smoke. So,
but god dang it, did he inhale that?
I've been to a hookah bar before and just kind of sat there for like a half hour, got a headache, and gotten out.
Oh.
So
there you go. End of story.
The part to me is like, one, it doesn't interest me. Two, when I finally actually did look at pricing for said objects, just ridiculous.
Even less interesting.
Yeah, less interesting from that point. So it all stems for me, like my grandpa on my dad's side was a functioning alcoholic, and some of the stories that my dad told and some of the things that I recall, like when they would babysit me, like my parents would open the door and I would remember like smoke billowing out of the apartment when they came to pick us up. And so like there's some of those memories that I have, and he was never abusive to me or anything like that. But just kind of seeing how he reacted to things, and then also the stories that I was told, just never really interested me. So that was part of it. The pricing was a big part of it. And then my religious beliefs were another part. So I've got like a triple whammy as to why, even if I do have like a peer pressure thing, that's just something that for me has never been like, it's been a goal of mine. No, I'm never going to drink. I'm never going to smoke. And I just leave it at that. So and I have nothing against those people. I've grown up really being the minority in that aspect. So I've always been fine going to parties where people are just completely hammered, and I make a game out of it, or I take advantage of those people if they want me to. No.
It makes for good people watching.
No, not in that way. But like I multiple times, like when I was going to school at Northwood, or when maybe I don't want to share this story because I haven't told any
when
of
I
those
was in
people.
them college dorms.
But like I picked up several people because I was the designated driver, and I always said, hey, I'd take care of them if they gave me a couple bucks. But what I would do when these people came staggering to the car, I would grab their wallets and I would take any money that was in their wallet. I didn't care how much it was.
You are the worst person I've ever met.
Oh, man.
That's terrible.
I took it all, but I didn't
I
like. There
took
were
it
select
all.
people.
That is considerate stealing.
I didn't take
Let me
it
just take
from
this
like.
money off of your hands.
I have two people that I talk to still to this day from Northwood that like are good friends, like part of my wedding and all that stuff. But they, like, I never took money from them. But anyone who is the random stranger that tagged along
Look,
with them,
I never stole money from my friends. Just random assholes.
Just the randoms. It was only the
Yeah.
randoms.
just random people that needed a ride back. And like, if anything happened to my car, then I took a credit card. So, that. And I didn't do anything with it. Like I charged like one thing online once, and I felt horrible. Like I really felt like I was like identity thief.
Yeah, you did, and
Holy
you should.
cow, man.
Yeah. So I felt bad there. Like that's probably a worse story than someone just
Hey,
getting
you probably
wasted.
built up his credit score.
Yeah, there you go. I paid it off.
Jesus.
No, but like that was like the extent of what I've done. I've always gone to parties, and I thought it would be like the super cool thing like bonfires are always something that I enjoy going to, and people are always drinking, and that's never been a big deal. But like going to an actual college dorm party or any of those types of situations, I just had it built up as something so much better. Even the people who are hammered, I don't understand how they're having such a good time. There's so much drama. It just blew my mind as to the glorification that you get from media and all that type of stuff. And then me looking at it, I was like, I am not interested in this at all. I did exactly what you mentioned earlier. I found the only video game system available in said house.
Damn right.
And I just played for like an hour. And then I was like, okay, I'm really done with this.
Guys, wait for these wacky tobacco smokers and these boozers to pass out so I get the monies.
So
just biding my time.
and it's not like I did that a ton. Like I only went to this school for probably 4 or 5 months, and I picked up people maybe like once a month. So it wasn't.
I love this.
It's super random, but that's how I survived college. No, ultimately, like with my personality, I've never I'm fine at a bonfire. Going to a big party like that has never like really been super interesting to me. So that's I think part of the other reason why drinking has never been like a social aspect to me, or why I'd say I want to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that's my personality too. I don't really care for that kind of scene anyway, regardless. It's just not something that I enjoy.
Yeah, but at the same point, if you are, great, have fun with it. If that's the way you let off stress and you handle a situation,
do your thing.
Do your thing, and I can be a social chameleon and like jive with what you have going on when you shuck. Yeah. I'm driving.
Do your thing. Call Nelson to give you a ride, and he'll steal your money, and you'll go on your way, and it's fine.
These days, a lot of people just have cards, so it's really tough. Really been hitting my designated driver for.
Really been cutting into my income.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Well, we learned something new about Nelson today. He's kind of awful.
Hey, I was risking a lot, man. They had open beer beverages and liquor beverages in my
open
car.
bottles.
If I got
you see, now this is why I like to drink, but I like to drink alone in my home. And I know that's going to sound depressing to some people.
This is why.
But you know what?
When I drink responsibly.
You don't got to worry about thieves like that bastard when you're doing that.
Hey, all I'm saying is it's my opportunity cost. There was never a time that I made over $100, but I got close.
Still made $100.
There was never a time where it was lucrative.
I mean, we're not talking life-changing amounts of money here or anything.
We're talking week's worth of lunch.
Yeah, just some dude didn't eat for a week. No, it ain't no thing.
You didn't get to buy another fifth of Hypnotic, okay? And I
but
really
no,
feel
that those college kids didn't let it cut into their alcohol budget.
No,
they took that straight out of gas and straight out of food.
Yeah, and half the people that I took money from, I knew they were well off. They'd get money again.
Shit, he's practically Robin Hood, Paul.
Yeah, steal it from the poor to give to the poor.
Yeah, take it from the drunk and stoned and given to the straight-edged and wealthy.
God.
There we go. So probably what I did is far worse than like my moral ramifications for not drinking.
I'd just like to wrap this topic. Let's just wrap this topic as who's worse? The peer-pressured deaf
Paul,
kid
who is
scenario?
literally just trying to be nice and to the deaf kid and try to make a relation with him, just try to have an exchange of ideas and show him that we're two people, we're two different people, but we're part of the same. We're part of the same group. We're part of the same.
We're two different people, but we share one joint.
Yeah, just trying to make a connection, whereas Nelson is over here freaking.
You know what? If I'm not gonna drink, no one's happy.
It's cut or dry with him. I'll take you for everything.
Cameron's doing freaking stomach paintings over there.
Yeah.
You had regular Pablo Picasso.
It was one time, and I had legit reason to be sad.
I feel like we've done a nice, a good old fashioned.
We got a good old fashioned amount here.
I think we had a good one. I think this was a good first episode. I thank you both for being a part of this with me, for bringing such excellent topics to the table and having such a candid discussion and not being afraid to say some of the terrible shit that you've done